And that's where we'll start on your Sunday night. Thanks for joining us for KAKE News at 10. I'm Pilar Pedraza. We've almost reached the finish line of this election season. And with all those eyes on the races, the state of Kansas is predicting only a little over half of registered voters will turn out for the November 8th general election. Leon Purvis takes a look at why that number isn't higher.
We don't really yet have a new normal. However, what we do know suggests that high levels of turnout are probably going to continue.
Dr. Russell Arbin Fox is a political science professor at Friends University. He is making his predictions for the 2022 November general election. Let's break things down for you. In 2020, 70% of registered voters made their voices heard, a jump from the 56% turnout 2 years before that. As of Friday, more than 91,000 Kansans have already returned their mail-in ballots to county election offices, and more than 190,000 Kansans have voted in person. Fox weighs in on what he thinks could happen on election night.
We had that primary election, and that primary election obviously drove a lot of people to the polls that normally didn't vote. So the big question is, how much of that is going to carry over?
Fox also tells us what he is hearing in the Wichita area locally in regards to the number of voter turnout.
There has been some evidence locally that maybe turnout for the election here in South Central Kansas in Sedgwick County is not on track to hit the kind of high water marks that some people have suspected it might reach.
Meanwhile, with the governor's race in a dead heat, we continue to see ads attacking both candidates. You asked us about claims Laura Kelly cut the police budget, something she denies. You wanted to know if the budget increased, who got the money. This report from the Kansas Legislative Research Department shows us the public safety budget increased by some $110 million from fiscal year 2021 to fiscal year 2022. So we asked Fox, where has that money gone?
You talk about the police budget. You have money that's spent by the state government on public safety. That's going to involve a lot of different contributions to police budgets, to sheriff budgets, to a lot of different agencies across the state.
That includes law enforcement as well as the Department of Corrections and the state fire marshal. Some of the extra expenditures include money to buy a new surveillance plane for the Kansas Highway Patrol, pay raises that went to all state employees, and replacing safety and security equipment at state prisons. Make sure to stick with us on air and on KAKE.com for around-the-clock coverage. In studio, Leon Purvis, KAKE News on your side.
And tomorrow is Sedgwick County voters' last chance to vote early before Tuesday's election. You can head to the county election office tomorrow morning from 8 to noon to cast your ballot. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until Tuesday. Sedgwick County says 330,000 people are registered to vote in this year's election. As of Friday, the turnout rate was around 18% for the county. The county says that percentage is usually around 52 to 55%, which means you can expect more than 140,000 people to head to the polls Tuesday. And here's a look at what the county says voters should be dealing with at polling places Tuesday if you don't vote early. If you live in one of the areas in red, the county says those locations are likely to be very busy and there will probably be lines. The county adds the busiest hours are typically when polls open at 6 in the morning, over the noon hour, and after 5 in the evening. Remember, as long as you're in line before polls close, poll workers must let you vote. Be sure to stay with KAKE News for continuing coverage leading up to Election Day, plus live team coverage of the big day itself. We'll have analysis with political science experts and bring you the latest results as they come into our newsroom, on air and live streaming online. We've also been hard at work gathering interviews with candidates, fact-checking campaign advertisements, and finding links to candidates' web pages and social